First of all, I've never seen a worse quality on Zoom than my screen right now. I didn't realize it was gonna just be up. Like, I realized that, but I didn't. I did not process it. It was just.
Did you hear the lady, like the automated voice, go, "This call is being recorded"?
No, because I'm daddy.
And that was a shock.
All right, I'm gonna go to the living room where Lizzie is.
Okay.
I literally can't. Why is this so funny? Like, it's not any different than normally recording it, but there's something just so funny about this. So should we like record, like put the recording somewhere?
Yeah, we'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, do you think we should add this part? Hey, Lizzie.
Hey. Yeah.
I think we should put this in the beginning. I think this is a good thing. I think people need to see this. Okay. Wait, let me position.
I'm gonna get in the frame.
Come get in the frame. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome back. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been like
3 months.
It's all a blur. Whenever you went to camps, like June.
Yeah, June 4th.
June 4th. Is my sound okay?
To me, it is.
You can hear me?
Mm-hmm. Is mine?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. It's back to the Goblins' new location. I'm in my living room with Lizzie.
I'm in my bedroom with myself.
Where?
In my room.
In your actual room?
Myself.
Are you at UVM, Oren? Did you get back?
No, at UVM.
Okay.
My dorm room.
Right. So you're back from the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Just trying to figure out where everyone is. All right. Well, I guess we can just get right into it. Let me get the PowerPoint up.
There's a PowerPoint?
There's a PowerPoint. Yeah, we're prepared.
Wow.
I should have had it pulled up. I'm sorry. I was doing some discussion boards like right until we started doing this. All right. Let me share screen. Oh my God. I feel so like a professor right now. All right. You'd think that they would make it pretty obvious, considering it's like
How to share screen?
Yeah, like one of the main. You know, how to share screen.
I feel like it's like
It has to be me, right?
Meeting.
When you're on Zoom, like the app,
Yeah.
the green thing.
Oh no, I don't think
that one.
What?
Because the goblins are speaking.
But that's not.
Okay. Start share.
Sorry, guys. To whoever's watching.
The goblins are speaking.
But that's not sharing screen, is it?
I thought, isn't it?
I think I can do it. Oh, wait, you're doing it.
Oh, I did it.
There we go.
Good job.
Let's do view. Let's do present. Okay. Present. Woo! Episode 1. This is episode 4.
Of the like Zooming, I guess.
This is season 2, episode 1.
This is season 2, episode 1.
This is Goblins Go to
the season premiere.
All right. Do we have a title for this one?
Not currently.
I was thinking like Return of the Brotherfucker, but like
yes, yeah, that's good.
Not a brother, but you know it works.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
kind
good.
of like our return, so you know a lot of returns.
So true. Yeah.
All right, and the movie.
So my first impression of this is that it really achieved the impossible by making England look more depressing. I really didn't know someone could do that. My second first impression was that why is Peppa Pig in this?
Where was?
But I live for it. She played the little girl.
What?
Oh my
I
god.
like could not stop hearing her voice the entire time.
Wait, that's
It was
really
very unnerving. Yeah,
That's like the Peppa Pig.
that's the
Yeah, I know.
Peppa
I can hear
Pig.
it now that you say it, I can hear it.
Yeah.
She did her research.
She did.
hmm
She came prepared. Yeah, so I guess my thoughts are it was bad. I didn't like it.
It was like
a bad movie.
so
I
bad, it's
thought it-
good.
I thought it was like not good. Like
hmm
there was just like they started too many different things and then didn't develop any of them.
Yeah.
Like how
It felt like it should have been 2 movies.
yeah, like how
Like it was.
before that happened and then
I
like
don't know.
just nothing was explained.
Like the first 20
Yeah.
minutes, like you thought it's gonna be like a really good like 2011, 2012 era dystopian movie, but
Yeah.
then you don't develop upon the war. Who is the war with? Why is Saoirse Ronan?
Oh my god.
Why does she do stuff with her cousin?
Sorry,
Um,
Lizzie's tag teaming right now. She's a busy gal.
That's fine.
She's in our sorority meeting.
I'm on mute now. I'm fine.
Yeah, I just like I had such high expectations going into it because like I love a good movie. I'm a girl who likes a good movie. And it was Saoirse Ronan. It was 2012. I'm in a 2012 phase. And like Lizzie said, like the first 20 minutes, like I was really,
So good.
really into it.
Like it's all
Like God,
her,
I
like,
hate poor people. What the
voices
fuck,
in
it's
her head.
amazing.
I hate poor people. Like I hate fat people.
Yeah.
That's all
Like,
that goes
mhm.
on. in her
And then it
brain.
went nowhere.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
bland.
And like, I don't know if you read the book version, but the book version is so much more insufferable because like one of the main things is that she's like anorexic, she has an eating disorder.
Mhm.
And then like after she like fucks her cousin, she like stops being anorexic. She's like, I need
No, I
Why did they do that?
don't know, and they
It could've
normalized
been
it
not her
completely.
cousin.
Yeah.
It was so easy for
Yeah,
him to not
literally.
be her cousin.
It could have been his like their neighbor or like a boy that works on the farm, but
Yeah.
for some reason it was the cousin,
Like,
and they didn't mention it.
no, they
It
did
not
not.
once. No,
There's a way to
it
do
was just normal.
incest. There's a way to do incest.
They didn't do it
A
tastefully.
simple favor did it well.
A
Either
Simple Favor did it well. Game of Thrones,
acknowledge that it's incest, or not have.
or make it not
incest.
that.
I don't know. Like, what? And then I have no idea what they were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I really
if they were going with the war theme that like everyone died from nuclear fallout, like Tom Holland died, but like presumably the rest of the world is still like living and they're fine. They weren't fucking to like repopulate the
yeah.
They were
They
just,
also started doing that
They just
before
tried to.
the nuclear war, like, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they were.
Well,
And-
like before they were like separated and stuff.
Yeah. I think honestly, okay, incest aside, there was nothing even to the relationship.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
looked
he
at
like
each other
she
and
cut
were
her finger and he like sucked the blood
it.
out. And I was like, first of all, why?
And like
Starting
the
off
first
strong
one
with
in
the
end
weirdness.
was so like hollow. I was like, okay, so you just sucked each other's fingers. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like quid pro quo.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like, you suck yours. You suck mine. You suck my fingers. Something like that.
Okay, the reason I have this Blair Witch Project movie poster is because do you remember the one scene where Saoirse is running through the forest? Like, Eddie, where are you? Eddie, where are you? And she's like naked.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like, I hated that.
I did
Like,
not
call me a prude, but like, I did not need to see her like running through like titties out, like
ask, just
branches in her face.
impressed.
That
Like,
was
what
a
was the
little
reason?
overkill.
What was the reason? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
they-
Also, could they communicate telepathically? They never like explained that at all. Also, the first time he read her mind, she was like, "Oh, cool, so this is a thing now." But she wasn't like, "What? Like you can read my mind?" Like, what? Like she didn't react like a normal human. She just accepted it.
That's what happens when you have incest. If you develop like telepathy.
True.
was the blood.
powers. Like
Mhm.
like the people of West Virginia, they're on to something.
hmm
Perhaps they are.
Yeah.
All right. So I made a little Venn diagram.
Right.
Doing
I
some-
saw that.
And here's what I want to put a disclaimer out right now. I'm not
Mhm.
putting How I Live Now on the level of Jennifer's Body or Simple Favor.
No.
No, absolutely not.
This is just based on the 3 movies we have discussed. I needed to get that out there that they are not on the same level at all. It's just patterns within the movies that we have discussed.
Mhm.
So I guess if you really want to get into it. So we have Jennifer's Body over here, Simple Favor over here, How I Live Now. If you were here for our earlier episodes, you would know our thoughts on these 2 movies. And basically to sum it up, they're awesome. So I guess between Jennifer's Body and How I Live Now, mass death and destruction. Like, I mean, that's pretty general. That kind of happens. And I guess, well, it's not mass death in a Simple
But
Favor. it's
Jennifer's
just
Body did it like
oh, it did it. Oh my
better.
God.
Like
Yeah.
the soundtrack,
so good.
good.
Best movie ever.
Mhm.
The outfits.
I think this is a pretty explanatory one, which is funny because, and then this is really like when we start getting into like the good stuff, which makes sense. 'Cause like, which is homoerotic murder movie in a lake scene. There was like a quasi lake scene in How I Live Now, but it was more of a river. So
There was.
I don't think I want to count.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a lake. It can't just be
It does.
in a body of water.
It has to be like creepy lake. Like the
Yeah.
river in How I Live Now was really peaceful and like nice.
Yeah.
But the lake has to be like, oh, what's at the bottom of this lake? Like there might be a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And, like-
just didn't have the vibe in How I Live Now.
It didn't have vibe.
And usually water, like when you go under and like come up, it symbolizes like a rebirth for the characters.
Mhm.
How I Live Now, like, was incest the rebirth? Like, was because
No.
that's not a positive direction.
There was nothing. Oh yeah.
See, I don't think there was any symbolism in How I Live Now. I think someone
No, and we
sat
were, like-
down and typed a story and it meant nothing and then they made it into a movie.
She didn't like her takeaway at the end of How I Live Now was like, from what I remember, like it was so lame of me to have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Now I want to care for people. Like what?
Oh
Like,
yeah, wait. Oh yeah, she was like, I used to use my obsession or something like that for like being obsessed with food, but now I do it like to help Eddie or something. And I was like, that makes no sense. That's not how eating
Really
disorders work.
baffling. Like homegirl just like got through the war.
Literally.
Whose war?
Like they
I
said,
don't know.
they're like, it could be the next World War III. And then
Mhm.
you see like some nuclear fallout, and then you see like dead Tom Holland, and like that's all we know about the war.
And it lasts about 2 months. Like
Literally.
was it long? It wasn't a long war at all.
I mean, she went into the war with bangs. She ended the war with no bangs. So like,
True.
that was her progression.
I
That's how
did
she
really,
did
I
it.
did like her bangs a lot.
They
I
were
liked
good.
the blunt
Yeah.
bangs.
They were good.
I loved her aesthetic in the beginning, and then at the end she became like a trad wife, and I didn't live for that. Like
Yeah, that's what fucking your cousin does to you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and in the middle I say good for her because I think they're all good for her movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they could all fit the good for her.
Yeah.
I think Jennifer's Body is like the most
Yeah.
good for her, except not really. Well,
Yeah.
no, in the end, yes, it is.
No, I think A Simple Favor is the most good for her.
but but like not kind of, but they both suck. So, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, good for her is not always actually good for her, you know?
I feel like we need to add Gone Girl to this, and
I
the
was-
connection between Gone Girl and
Just-
How I Live Now. Like the connection between Gone Girl and How I Live Now is that no one in either of those movies reacts to things in a normal human way.
Yeah.
Like they just go through life.
Yeah.
Something I was thinking about, I was like, could the cousin Saoirse Ronan Fox be considered a manic pixie dream boy because he's only there for her own like pleasure? He has like no dynamic storyline and does nothing for
Mhm.
the story. But like there's no basis of comparison because even the main character does nothing for the story. She's not dynamic.
Mhm.
None of them
Yeah.
are.
Don't do anything. I've just
Yeah.
never watched a movie that is so give us nothing. I really
Literally.
haven't. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
just very confused.
They're
as
all just like
going for. I really need to know.
they're all just like shells of people with like vague personality traits and nothing underneath.
They're like if aliens were like just told briefly about what humans were and they were
Mhm.
act like humans for this movie, like that's what it would be.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, the movie I Care a Lot. I feel like we talked about before and how
Oh yeah, that's another
it
movie
felt
that
like-
should have been like more than one movie.
it felt like they just started so many different plot lines and then went nowhere with it. And like nothing was developed. Like their relationship, that was the funniest thing. Rosamund Pike and the like girl with the curly hair, don't even know her name because honestly, like she was not a character. Their relationship literally killed me because they marketed that movie as like an LGBTQ like film, and they did not like each other. They did not have scenes together. Like they would walk together in slow motion and like sometimes make out, but they didn't like each other. Like it was not about the relationship, and it made it seem like the movie was primarily about their relationship, which it really could not have been less that.
It like the trailer made it seem like they would be committing crime together, but then in the movie it's like the Rosamund Pike character does everything herself.
Yeah, and the girl is
Basically.
kind of like there.
Yeah.
Like
And it's weird.
Sunglasses, and Rosamund's just hitting her like vape all the times.
Good for
Yeah.
her.
Good for her. Did she die in that? She did, right?
Yeah, at the very end.
And okay, so I thought.
Sorry, spoilers.
Don't watch it. It's not good. Right, moving on. I don't even know what's next, but oh great.
Oh yeah, of course. So we like to talk about this concept of, okay, let's pretend that these people are not in committed relationships and we knew them.
Who's the guy with the book on his head?
That's Bo Burnham.
Oh, okay.
Ella, do you want to start?
I'll start. So it's basically celebrities we could realistically get with, as Grace already explained. And, you know, there's not exactly like concrete evidence as towards why we could get with them. It's just a vibe. So my first one is Phoebe Bridgers. I don't know why. I just feel like she'd really like vibe. Like, I feel like she just really like me. Like, I cannot explain it. I just feel like we'd like meet and she'd like be like, yeah, you're cool. Like,
She'd cry after sex.
yeah, sure, but I do too.
Mhm.
We'd cry together.
We cry together. And like I don't think it would like be like necessarily like enjoyable or like something that either of us like want to do. I just think it would happen, and there's really no other way to explain it. Okay, my second one is Shawn Mendes. Again, not
I love this one.
necessarily want to do. It's not I want to. I did have a big Shawn Mendes phase in junior year. I didn't really like his music. I just
Junior year.
yeah. What?
That's just like a like,
What?
I was expecting you to say like 8th grade.
Oh no. I
Junior
only
year.
like things like way after they're cool. Some people
Okay.
like things before they're cool. I like
She's just hit 2012 hipster.
I just
Yeah.
and I'm having a great time. So Shawn, I feel like Camila Cabello aside, I just got a package.
I
from
mean, she's not an
Amazon.
obstacle. Let's be honest.
I got a package from Amazon that came in a Camila Cabello Cinderella box.
I got that.
Oh
under Harry
my
the
god.
So just like there's so much to unpack there.
Camila's the type of person who will walk into a sushi restaurant and order a banana. And then when you hear her order the banana, you're like, that's so weird. But then you realize, you know what? I could really go for a banana right now. That's a Shawn Mendes quote.
That's actually a quote from it.
He actually said that.
See, that's my man. That's my man right
Yeah.
there.
He's a he, him, was. Look at that.
He is a he.
Look at
and
that.
lesbian, he and Drake. I just feel like with Shawn, like, listen, like, I don't want to get doxxed by like his men. So if anyone hears me say this, I didn't say it. It'd be good PR because for some reason they still haven't let him come out. I literally don't know why. Like, but I think it'd be good PR, you know. And I think he'd just like have a laugh with it. And I would too. Like he's a really
Yeah.
good guy. Like I know he is, and I know we laugh a lot together, and I know we'd just be like, oh haha, like let's just like fuck, but like as a joke, and like it would happen.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I just think, first of all, men are easy.
They are.
So that's just something like easily like you can accomplish that. And like we said, Camilla is not an obstacle. Like
She's
get her out of the way, and it's fine.
That's it.
Yeah. So my two picks were Jason Mantzoukas and Bo Burnham, two alternative comedians. You may know Jason from Big Mouth. He plays Jay, and he was on an episode of Community. He was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was on a bunch of shows.
He dips his toes
The Good Place.
in everything.
Yeah, he's like in everything. The problem is he's like 48, but let's just ignore that. Or I could use that to my advantage. I also read an article where he said like, I'm just trying to be single for my 40s and not settle down. Like I literally hate men because they get to like be single, like they don't have to worry about like their biological clock, and that just annoys me. But anyways, the reason why I think I could get with him is because he's just kind of crazy, and like he's just like in it for the ride, and like I could like be down with that. Like I don't know, I feel like I could play him really easily. And then Bo Burnham, like let's pretend he's not in like a committed like 7-year relationship. I just like I can make him laugh. And like
really
he can make me laugh. Like
you would like make him speechless.
no, I know. Like I would take his breath away.
Like I don't. He would be like caught off guard by you. I
No,
know.
yeah.
I know he would.
I agree.
I know Bo like that. Trust me.
No, I know.
I know each other.
Have you gotten with Bo?
I no.
We can't talk about that.
Not saying anything.
I just know like I would. It's the type of vibe you would meet him at a party, and you would like be in his circle of people he's talking to, and he would like be making jokes, blah blah blah, and then you would take the attention off of him, and he'd be like, "What the fuck?" But then he'd fall in love with me. Also, when I was saying you, I meant me. So
You?
I don't know why I was speaking in second person about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, so that's my take.
Nice.
Lizzie, do you have anyone?
Yeah, Ella gave me an assignment to brainstorm.
Mhm.
So mine both resemble my awful taste in humor.
Okay.
We've become aware of. So first I'm gonna start off with Logan Paul. Like I think
Okay, nice.
I think it would just happen because he's just like so awful. But
Mhm.
he would just like flirt with me, and I'd be like, wow, like thank you. And like it would just happen. Like neither of us would really be like super into it, but like it would just happen. And then we'd probably ghost each other.
You love a man who can't carry a conversation.
I love a man who can carry a
He's-
conversation.
He is the epitome.
I love a man who can't hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you'd bring Logan Paul to a party, and he'd just like start talking about like the Suicide Forest. Like he'd just bring that up. Like he couldn't hang. He'd be like, yo, like play my diss track on my brother, and everyone would be like, no, like we're listening to Let the Bodies to the Floor. And then he'd throw like a hissy fit and like throw up on the floor and leave.
Mhm.
And then my
That's so hot.
my other selection, slightly for a different reason, but also a horrible person, is Gabby Hanna.
Oh, I love that.
She is a Pitt alum, so like we have that in common. We'd meet at like alumni day, and like she would just like she'd just be like, wow, like
Well, she can fuck anyone
Yeah,
and their parents.
she can
to
fuck
be fair.
everyone and their parents.
True.
But she would just like she'd lure me in somehow, and it would just happen.
Mhm.
Like she'd be like, want to go do a tri-sig party? Because like that was her sorority. And I'd be like, okay. And then, she'd take you up to like her secret lair, and like she'd tweet about you and like make you watch. She'd tweet awful things about you and like just have you sitting there. Just like,
I think it'd be fun.
yeah.
I actually like can get behind that one.
She would be so into like degradation. Like,
Do you think she'd read her poetry to you afterwards?
Yes.
I think she'd write a poem about her.
Time is relative.
she'd like read.
Family is relative.
She'd read a poem to you after sex, and then she'd be like, "Okay, like, can you go now?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my hot take.
Or she'd sing to you. Hannah.
Does she sing?
Oh my god, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wait.
Yeah, that's like her thing.
It's just so,
She
like,
loves to sing.
time is relative. Beauty is relative. Family.
You know, the way that she always defends her poems is
Yeah.
by saying she's inspired by Bo Burnham. Like,
Really?
yeah. She says like she's inspired by how he turns like dark things into humor, and she thinks that that's what she's doing. And she also is always like, well, it's like Shel Silverstein. I'm like Shel Silverstein because he like turns dark concepts into like fantastical childlike things. And it's like, you are not like him. Keep his name out your mouth, please.
Yeah, I'm like really reading through her poems and trying to find the connection there. And I'm
Some of them aren't horrible. I will give her that. But most of them are.
also like not to be a traditionalist, but like no offense, Rupi Kaur. Rupi Kaur is good, whatever. Like I do think something about short poems is a little like cheap.
I agree.
Like
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean it can be good, like, but like
There's no heart in it.
you
No.
have to do a little more. Like hot, for example. Where there's smoke, there's fire, or possibly a vape pen. Either way, get the hell out of there. What
Was
am
that
I-
Gabby Hanna or was that Rupi?
Oh, that was Gabby.
Okay.
What am I to make of that?
That literally sounds like a parody that I wrote of like Ruby Carr in like 9th grade.
Yeah, I
I think it is a little bit of satire though.
yeah,
like
but
that's
I
what
don't know
she
how aware
says.
she is of it being a satire, or
No, I think she is aware of it. Okay, we always have debates about satire. Like I don't think we can get into this right now.
in Glee. I just got Lizzie into Glee.
It's so good.
Good.
Some people in this house
Like my favorite show.
I'm on season 2 already.
It's so good. But it's good when you like accept the reality of the world. Like you can't go into it with the expectations that Ryan Murphy was trying to write a realistic high school experience. Like he's clearly like trying to be silly,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Just enjoy it.
And I think the Glee effect is, and I know this is the same for you, when you watch it at like so many different ages,
Mhm.
it's literally just like it's not even a show at a certain point, it's just a part of your identity. Like watching it when you're 8 and then 11, like it's like when I watch
Sorry, my AirPods died.
I just like it is Glee. Like I am Glee.
It's like you're visiting a childhood memory.
Exactly. It's something magical in that show. Anyway, back to Gabby Hanna. Poetry is not good, but I also think I would get with her.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And I would want her to read her.
Like
my-
she
her
hit us
poetry.
both in like the same day.
Yeah. She'd just be going back and
Yeah.
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
She'd be like, leave, like someone else is at the door for me.
Sorry, I'm reading some poetry. All right. Let's see what's next. Ogres, take it away.
Oh, this is me. Okay. So I will be teaching you all today about the theory of mind and how that relates to our like evolution and how it relates to grade 8 personhood. So basically the theory of mind is the mental capacity to understand other people and their behavior by ascribing mental states to them. So think of it as like, whereas empathy is like about emotions, theory of mind is with cognitive things, so like thoughts, desires, and intentions. So by the time you're like 4 years old, humans have this understanding that other people also have minds and like they have differing beliefs and like they can lie and things like that. So it's almost like you're empathizing with them, but it doesn't have to do with emotion. It has to do with like the other parts of your brain. So like where empathy is you're connecting with someone's limbic system, which is the system in your mind that, like the amygdala and the hippocampus, I believe, that controls your emotions. with theory of mind, you're connecting with the prefrontal cortex, which is like how you make which is what controls like logical decision making and the understanding of consequences and stuff like that. So basically, so you develop that by the time you're 4. And it develops in this order. So the first thing you realize other people have is diverse desires. So like wanting different things than you. The second thing is diverse beliefs. And then the third is diverse access to knowledge. So that doesn't necessarily mean that like when you're 4 years old, you understand that people have been like educated differently and like go to different colleges and stuff. It's more just like, say like you know that an object is hidden in a certain place, but you know that other people don't know that. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's the theory of mind. And yeah, you develop that pretty early on. And then the last thing to develop, which is like the most complex thing, is false beliefs and like hidden emotions. So the understanding that other people can believe things that are wrong, that you know are wrong, but that they don't know are wrong. And also the thing that develops alongside that, I don't really know why or like how that connects, but you understand that other people can feel things and not show you and like keep them hidden from you. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, theory of mind as a concept. And then, so Saoirse Baron Cohen's cousin Simon, which I thought this was insane that they're like connected, but yeah, they're cousins. And he's this scientist that studies theory of mind, specifically in like infants and also other animals. He like wrote a paper on that, which I'll get to. Yeah.
Is that not actually him? That's his cousin?
No, the picture at the top is Saoirse Baron Cohen.
Yeah. Who's his cousin?
Yeah. Yeah, Simon Baron Cohen is his cousin.
And that's him.
As a baby?
Nope.
Oh, just like the scientist?
No. Oh wait, that's Borat?
Yeah, at the top. That's Saoirse Baron Cohen.
Just checking. Yep.
Okay, got it. So anyways, Saoirse Baron Cohen's cousin Simon developed this proposed this idea that when you point at things in front of babies, that's like you're connecting to their or like you have joint attention with them. So like you're pointing to something, so then they are drawing their attention to it. And that connects to theory of mind because they realize that your intention with pointing to that object is because you're paying attention to something different than them. So it's like, that's like one of the first signs that like babies are developing theory of mind. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so how I got into this was I was originally going to talk about Australopithecus, which is like an early hominid, like a human, like an ancestor of humans. And
Gracie, you're on mute or something. Grace! Sorry, you're out for a second.
Oh, sorry. Where did you last hear me?
Australopithecus is an early hominid.
Yeah, so it's an early hominid ancestor of humans, and they're interesting because they're one of the earliest hominids, and we have the most information about them because we have so many fossil records of them. Specifically, I don't know if you remember learning about Lucy in 7th grade, but she was like she was the hominid, which was one of the most important discoveries of the 20th centuries because like she was one of the first, like, I think almost full skeletons that we got of early hominids. That was in the 1970s, I believe. So I just think they're interesting. They're also, we learned that, because of them, we learned that our brain size doesn't necessarily correlate, like the evolution of our brains, so the and like the growth of our brains over time doesn't necessarily correlate with why we're bipedal, meaning like we walk on two legs, which up until then we thought it did. But Australopithecus has a very small brain and is still bipedal. So that's like when we realized that those two things don't correlate. And also they were one of the first tool users. They weren't the first, but they were one of the first tool users. And they lived in trees, and they have like different movements of like their neck and their head and their eyes, I think, that we don't have anymore because we like evolved away from those traits. And they're very short. They're like 4 feet tall.
That's just like my
Yeah,
height.
but what?
I said that's just like my height.
But how they relate to theory of mind was I was reading up on them, and it said that we haven't proven that theory of mind existed in hominids because we can only prove it in ourselves. Like, well, not necessarily, but up until now, like we can only prove it in ourselves. It's kind of hard to prove using just fossils, you know, because it's all about just how your mind works, and you have to study behaviors in order to pick up on it. You can't really just like look at fossils and be like, oh yeah, like they understood that other people had different beliefs from them, you know. So
Gabby Hannah pick up a fossil and figure that out.
she probably could, like we should probably call her about this.
Read a poem.
Yeah, but I just think it's like interesting that we can't prove it in anyone except humans because we're the only ones with minds that we can really comprehend because we have our minds. But they are sort of discovering that it exists in like chimps and other apes. So there was a study by University of St. Andrews and Kyoto University where they like presented chimps, bonobos, and orangutans with this barrier that was either opaque or see-through. I don't really understand how the study worked. I'm going to be honest. I read an article on how the study worked. I didn't really get it, but I'm going to try to explain it. So there was this barrier that was either opaque or see-through, but it looked the same, like far away. And then they showed the apes videos of a human dressed as a gorilla hiding objects behind the barrier from a human actor. And then they tracked the eye movements of the apes watching the videos to see if they could guess how the human would behave. And the results showed that they could guess how the human would behave. So to me, that sort of proves that they do have theory of mind because they can sort of guess like other people's intentions and like guess how they'll behave, which is like the most important aspect of theory of mind, is that like we use it in order to make decisions on how other people will behave because we understand like a little bit of their thought processes. So to me, that proves that they kind of do have theory of mind, which is important because that was something that people use to prove that great ape personhood should exist, which is basically that theory that humans are not the only species with theory of mind. Therefore, other species like apes should be treated better because they have theory of mind. So they're sort of like more sentient, I guess, and they like deserve more rights. Great ape personhood wouldn't mean that like monkeys could like vote, but it helps us to pass laws about like protecting them and not like like
smarter than a good majority of our voters.
Honestly, yes, but unfortunately it's going to be a little bit hard to.
I think robots are going to be able to vote. Sorry,
my Amazon Alexa is
Sidetrack.
gonna vote.
That's like another thing is I think like engineers are trying to code theory of mind into AI, which is like terrifying. Because like then they'll be able to lie to us, and like I don't know, it's just kind of scary. But yeah, so apes possibly have theory of mind. We already know that chimps and orangutans have culture and social learning, which is interesting. So like they have traditions and like they will groom each other, which I don't know how, but that's just a sign that they have culture, I guess, whatever. But what this like makes me think of is like, what if other animals have theory of mind that aren't even related to us? Because chimps and orangutans have most likely have theory of mind because they're like related to us. So like that makes sense that we have similarities to them. But what if like dolphins and elephants and other like smart creatures have it too? What would that mean for how we treat them? So yeah, that's interesting. Also, Simon Baron-Cohen also argued that without theory of mind, speech is basically useless because most of speech is to change the knowledge of the people that you're talking to. And in order to do that, or like in order to want to do that, you have to understand that other people have different beliefs and different knowledge than you do. So if you like don't have that, if you don't have theory of mind, there's literally no reason to talk to people basically. But then what about animals who communicate with each other like by chirping or like barking or whatever? Do they have theory of mind too? Is that why they have like noises and stuff?
I feel like they
I don't know.
don't. Well, not don't. But I feel like there's a big difference between speech and communication.
Well,
like,
yeah.
With how like animal, well, I mean, I'm not an animal. I am an animal. I'm not a bird. So I don't chirp. But I feel like there's like that's instinctive for them to do the sounds, make the sounds that they make and communicate that way. And when they communicate, it is like, at least, I mean, I don't know, I'm not in that field, but from what I understand is it's just like the most effective or the most efficient way to strictly communicate information. Whereas when we speak, there's obviously a lot more going on. Like it's not just about efficiency. And like theory of mind, I guess, is instinctive for us too. Or
Yeah.
I mean, it's learned, but it's instinctive as well. Like I feel like it has to be nature and nurture.
Yeah.
Because even if in a kid growing up in a vacuum, which isn't realistic, but would still probably like develop it, but it's obviously going to be influenced by social factors. But I feel like the way that animals that are not humans communicate is a very obviously very different.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not about acknowledging that they have a mind, more so it's an instinct to convey this very specific information
Yeah.
and not try and do anything else
Like
with it.
how we code versus they decode, like so much of how we communicate is based on like verbal usage and like nonverbal communication, the body language. Whereas with the apes, I'm not sure what body language they put in to code and decode.
Mhm.
So
I don't know. Like it's a great question. I don't know what the dogs are thinking. I don't know what the cats are saying. I don't know how much they know. I really don't.
I know that my dog
Exactly.
I think my dog had some thoughts. I mean, they experience emotion, but that's different.
Yeah.
Which also, I think that's interesting. I want to go back to the first one.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So it's like, it's similar to empathy in that it's about, I guess, or being aware of other people's states, except it's not emotional. And I've actually, on TikTok, my For You page has been like churning up a lot of videos about empathy, which is really interesting. And there are, it's like empathy is experience on a spectrum, and on like one end of the spectrum, which like this is all like experiential things I've heard from people, not evidence. It's just things that people are like, oh, this is how I experience empathy. So it's like true in the fact that it has happened to people, but it's not like a scientific or like psychological source I'm citing. But like some people's experience of empathy is entirely cognitive or almost entirely cognitive, or it's moral and like justice based, in that
Mhm.
And I am like, I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh, I'm definitely on that spectrum, because I didn't exactly realize that empathy is like you physically feel the things other people feel. I thought it was just kind of guessing at it, or like relating your own experiences. And like a lot of people are like, well, I don't feel what other people feel. I have to analyze the situation and, you know, like determine the nature of what's going on for them. And then after I have like deconstructed what is going on for them, try to find something similar that has happened to me, or try to get a basis of comparison, think about how I felt, and then try and put that back to them, which is very cognitive and not emotional, because emotions are, you know, like instinct, like you just feel them, and there's not a whole like emotions are, you can explain an emotion to a 5-year-old. It's sad, happy, it's just like a feeling. But like that whole process is like it's like a cognitive thing. So like I think that's interesting, because that almost feels like some sort of like bridging between theory of mind and empathy, I guess.
Is that how you experience empathy?
Not entirely, but definitely more towards the cognitive understanding.
So when you're like thinking about how, like when you've connected, oh my God. Like, oh my God, I'm getting so many texts. Jeez. Anyways, when you realize your connection to those people and then you think about how you felt, do you physically experience that emotion?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Like if someone's
You just think about how you did
if
feel it.
someone's like, or I guess I do feel the emotion, but not all the time. Like if someone's upset about something that, and like this sounds bad, it's not in a bad way, it's
Mhm.
just like I'm trying to understand that wouldn't personally upset me. And I'm not like obviously saying like, oh, they shouldn't be sad about that, but if it's something that I can't, and I try and figure out what would make them sad in that situation, and then compare it to something that would make me sad, and I can't figure out why it would upset them, I
Mhm.
won't feel upset. I'll
Oh,
still
yeah.
be nice to them, obviously. Like I'm not just
Yeah.
gonna say fuck you, but like it's a lot harder to empathize
Yeah.
and understand
Yeah.
the like what
I think that makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
you haven't experienced like their prior events that might make something
Yeah.
upset them, whereas you haven't experienced
Yeah.
that. It's like you're viewing the situation very differently. Like you
Yeah.
can't fully put that into, you can't fully put yourself into that person's shoes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think that's how I experience things as well. Like, I don't know. But I do like actually like physically feel emotions when I can actually connect to those experiences. But the same thing you said, where like if I know that if I was in that situation and the thing wouldn't upset me, I don't like get upset either. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's normal.
Interesting. I'm thinking.
Pondering
I'm
things.
pondering. Yeah, brains are crazy.
I know.
Ever thought about that?
It's just weird that you can't like go inside someone else's mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. Like I was thinking about that when you were talking about this. Because like I feel like this theory of mind, I don't want to get like too conspiracy theory for this episode, you know, but like the simulation theory slash like the like concept, I guess, that you can only prove your own existence.
Mhm.
Which like
I
goes
don't like to think about
it goes
that.
it contradicts theory of mind, and theory of mind is very comforting because obviously it's a very scary thing to either be like, this is all a simulation, or I'm the only conscious person on earth, and I will, if I'm not, I can't prove that I'm not.
Yeah.
But the fact that theory of mind develops when you're a baby, and those thoughts, like, I don't think I realized that until I was like 8 or 9.
I don't think I became conscious
Yeah.
till like last year.
And so like it's comforting that theory of mind comes first.
yeah.
Because like then that kind of suggests that, like, I don't know, just to me, that like people are real. And I know that sounds like kind of like a stretch to like equate the two things, but even it, like, I don't know, it's just like grounding to like reassure yourself that like, oh, other people have minds, other people have brains, even if I can't ever prove it or never be in their mind, they still exist, or you have to operate as if it's true.
Yeah, I know there's a word, I think it's sonder, for like the term, like you're walking on the street and you realize like all the people around you have lives just as complex as your own, but you're just not experiencing those, which is really like interesting to think about, because like when does that develop? Is that correlated with theory of mind? Like
I don't know.
Because
I like when you, that's a bit different though. Like it's along the same lines, but the like basic theory of mind is, to me, like all these things on this like slide, the diverse desires, diverse beliefs, diverse access to knowledge, false beliefs, and hide emotions. That's more like something that you're thinking about when you are interacting with a person. But the whole like sonder thing is like you're just thinking to yourself about how other people experience things. And thoughts like that to me didn't occur until I was like 12 or 13.
yeah, like I literally found out about that word from like Wattpad. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding.
so like theory of mind really only like refers to when you're actually interacting with.
No, not necessarily. I was just saying like the whole those basic 4 things that develop when you're like young, then that like the whole sonder thing wouldn't be a part of those basic things that happen when you're young. I think that would develop when you're older, because I mean theory of mind doesn't just stop developing when you're 4, like it continues.
Yeah, but it comes like first.
Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like Gabby Hanna still hasn't like developed theory of mind. Like none for that one. Maybe next.
I feel like the prefrontal cortex is probably like not developed yet.
Are you
Maybe she's a late bloomer.
Are you conscious of having theory of mind? Well, we don't have it. Are you conscious of it while it's developing? Like, is it something you can, I don't know how to explain this, but like, I don't remember being a baby.
I feel like
but like, do children ages 1 to 4 have an awareness of awareness, I guess?
I feel like
really hard to remember.
I feel like diverse desires in terms of them would be like, oh, like I want to play Barbies and you want to play Legos.
Yeah.
Like that.
Are they able to like name it, I guess is what I'm saying? Not in terms that
it would be like we like different things. Like instead of like that desires. Like that's
how
I
guess so.
Put it into terms.
Mm-hmm.
And diverse beliefs, if you're like maybe not like 1 to 4, but maybe like 5 or 6, you're like, oh, my family goes to church. They don't. We think differently. Like that's just taught in like kindergarten, like respect.
Yeah.
That.
Oh my God, one time I remember I was at garden camp and I went to garden camp when I was little, and this girl, they were talking about churches that they go to, and this girl was like, what church do you go to? And I was like, I don't go to church. And she was like, oh, are you Jewish? And I was like, no. And she was like, then what do you do? And I was like, nothing. And she could not like comprehend that. She like didn't know that there were people that just like didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That was a formative I remember
A
that.
similar thing happened to me in like 3rd grade when everyone was like getting their first communion in Episcopal. I'm Episcopal, so I'm still Christian, and like we have communion. We don't have a ceremony for first communion. So like everyone at show and tell or whatever was talking about their first communion, and I was like, what's a first communion? And literally everyone in the class stared at me like I had like 3 heads. They were like, what? How does she not know what a first communion is? So they all thought like everyone in the world was Catholic, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like inside of the Catholic Church, like maybe that's what they're taught to believe. Like I don't know other belief systems. Like I hardly remember what I was raised on, but like maybe individual like denominations teach like, oh, like everyone should think like this, but they just don't to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I'm a Catholic, technically.
Yeah.
I mean,
I forget what
I was
technically
baptized Catholic, but it's like the weirdest Catholic church I've ever heard of. Like,
Really?
it's not Catholic other than the fact that everyone who goes there is Irish. Like, I really think that's the only reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been for like services in my baptism. I went to Christmas Eve mass for some reason with my grandparents in like 1st grade and never again.
Oh my God, Christmas Eve services were like so fun.
They're
And
the best ones.
to like hold the candle, like that level of responsibility. I think I was baptized Methodist or Lutheran. I'm not entirely sure. I know the
They're
difference.
pretty similar.
I just remember Martin Luther was
Martin
like, I
Luther.
hate Catholics.
Yeah.
Burn that shit to the ground. And then everything else is developed. Religion is awesome. Well, sometimes it's cool.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's not.
When I
It's
say
not
awesome,
good or bad.
Why not?
I mean, it's when I say awesome, it's interesting. I mean, it's awesome to talk about.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, that's all I got for theory of mind.
Nope, I'm gonna leave. Trying to think if there's anything else that I thought of. When you say theory, sorry, does that just mean it's like can't be proven?
It's more that like theory of mind is a thing in science. It's not like scientists are guessing that this thing exists. It's that we ourselves in having theory of mind, it's that like we individually have the theory that other people have different like desires.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
It's not pseudoscience.
Yeah, it's not. It's proven.
Slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
Very. So yeah. Any other questions? I feel like a teacher.
I know. One of my professors is evil. I like him, but this is evil. Every day in class, he, at the end of the lecture, it's not even evil, it's just annoying, goes to every single person and asks if they have any questions individually.
Oh my God. I could
And
not.
I was just like, no, even if I did.
I like to say, not at this time. Like, I'm really thinking about
Spice it up a little bit.
Mhm.
Not at the moment, but I'll let you know if I do.
Grace, how are your classes?
They're fine. They're not like, well, healthy brains, healthy bodies. That's kind of what got me thinking about this, because we're learning about the development of the prefrontal cortex versus like the limbic system. Because when you're a teenager or like when you're an adolescent, so like our age, everything is like mismatched kind of in your brain. So like your limbic system is like sort of at an all-time high, I think, like in development, but your prefrontal cortex isn't there yet. So it's like so much harder to make decisions for us because we don't have any like idea of consequences, like long-term consequences, but we have such intense emotions that like are driving us to make decisions and take risks and stuff. So That's why theory of mind was interesting to me, just because I'm learning about it kind of in my class.
Cool.
My other classes are not as interesting. I'm in calculus, which is horrible.
Calculus.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. That's what I was put into.
You need it for bio?
I believe so.
I would cry and throw up.
Yeah, I honestly am every single day.
Yeah, food calc. Calc was fun, but
High school calculus sent me to therapy. Like, no joke. It put me on Lexapro.
Oh my god.
high school calc was fun, but that's because
That's because we had a good teacher
teacher
and like a really good class.
really GAF so much. It was a good time.
We also had a good pre-calc teacher and class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out and doing
It's
there.
brisk. It's fully brisk.
Someone probably left it here. There's probably vodka in there. Yeah. See you for next week. Wait, it was probably Gabby's friends who were.
Okay.
It's probably them. So it's safe.
Gabby Hannah?
Yeah, she was here. She came to Parsons Day.
She was a sneaky link.
She was.
Yeah.
Lizzie already did hooker. She actually.
Yeah.
Dare I say she got to everyone at the party.
Gabby?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She went
Gabby
around.
was soliciting people. She would
went
take them into the
around.
corner.
My
Like-
god, she's crazy.
She's so fucking Parsons though. Like, oh my god.
She understood the assignment.
She bleached her eyebrows.
She
for it.
did.
She
Did
literally.
she serve at Parsons Slay?
Yes.
Oh my god.
She's. I love that. I love that bitch.
Crazy.
She's crazy. You can't take her anywhere, and yet we do it every weekend.
Like Gabby Hannah, she makes it a point to puke in every single sink. Like,
Oh.
and then she'll like leave.
No, it's like
just
a, it's
before
like in a
nine-
funny way. Like
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
like as a
We're
joke.
like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Gabby!
So like no, it's fine. Like because we can laugh. But
Okay.
anyone else would be like disgusting.
Yeah. Like if it was you, I'd be like, get a new fucking roommate.
It's
It's Gabby.
It's Gabby.
So like everything she does is inherently like so sexy. Like wow.
It's true.
She
Mhm.
like whole drink like
It
that.
is hot. Like she makes puking into sinks hot.
Literally.
Can you say
do
classic?
anything.
I like the one time, like my dog, like one of my old dogs, when she would puke, she would like eat it. Like after she,
Ooh, I hate that.
I saw Gabby do it once.
But like that would be hot, like for her to do it.
It was so hot. Like I saw a guy get a boner. Like watch like.
Ella, were you the person I would play that game with, where we would pretend
Well,
we would get,
what game? Sorry, you can't really. But I'm not sure what game you're talking about. Anyone want to talk about like dead old people?
who wants to sit down and not stand up for like a while?
Me right now.
I honestly do not want to stand and walk and
Yeah, I
No,
literally
do
cannot.
everything. What if we all like put like pillows on our laps?
For a good 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
No.
Okay.
Is this like now?
It is like now, kind of.
It's kind of like now. It's hard when we are not in the same room.
Yeah.
I feel like the effects would really be exaggerated.
Mhm. Another day, another dollar.
True. Not really, actually. Not for me at all. Every day I'm losing dollars.
Every day I'm shuffling. Sorry, little LMFAO slay.
What if the next party we have is my babysitter is a vampire theme?
Okay, I've seen it,
Or like
but
vampire in general. Like
No, my babysitter's a vampire.
I'd never seen
That'd
that
be
one.
really funny. Okay, looks like that's We should end it there, maybe.
It's probably a good time.
I still haven't caught on.
Should we just say it? I'll just tell you. The game is, it does work better in a group. You are pretending to have a boner and trying to hide it, and
I thought you were just cold.
and one person one person doesn't know that's what you're doing.
Wow.
Pretty much.
So it's like get down, Mr. President.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's spoiled it. All right. This is like what my professors do when they're like reading in class and they don't really. I can't share a screen. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble sharing the screen. Okay, we gotta enough sillies.
You guys see that?
I'm putting you into breakout rooms. Every English male professor I've ever had just like drinks water the entire Zoom.
Or they do like the sweater thing. where it's
Yeah,
like-
it's like moving on. I love their water. All right, for real though.
For real.
Good night.
You too. Goodbye. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Hi,
Thank
thank you for having
you.
me.
Stop, share, and end.